Okay, we are going to move on to our 9:35 a.m. item, presentation of proclamation designating the week of April 11th through 17th, 2021 as National Public Safety Dispatchers Week in Lake County. And I see that we have Sheriff Martin with us. Oh, we can see your lips move, but can't hear you.
How's about now?
It sounds great.
Okay. Is somebody from the board going to be reading the proclamation, or?
I saw that you were on here and was wondering if you were planning to read it, or else we have Vice Chair Crandall ready to read it as well. It's up to you.
Let's have Vice Chair Crandall read it, but I do have some comments once he's done.
Perfect.
All right. Well, here we go. Thank you, Sheriff Martin. I'll go ahead and read the proclamation that the board's designating the week of April 11th through 17th, 2021 as National Public Safety Dispatchers Week. Whereas emergencies can occur at any time that require law enforcement, fire, or emergency services, medical services. And whereas when an emergency occurs, the prompt response of law enforcement officers, firefighters, and emergency medical professionals is critical to the protection of life and preservation of property. And whereas the safety of our law enforcement officers and fire personnel is dependent upon the quality and accuracy of information obtained from citizens who telephone the Lake County Central Dispatch Center. And whereas public safety dispatchers are the first and can be the most critical contact our citizens have with emergency services and are the vital link for our law enforcement officers and fire personnel by monitoring their activities by radio, providing them with information ensuring their safety. And whereas the public safety dispatchers of Lake County Sheriff's Office have contributed substantially to the apprehension of criminals, suppression of fires, and treatment of patients, exhibiting compassion, understanding, and professionalism during the performance of their job. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Lake County Board of Supervisors does hereby designate the week of April 11th through 17th, 2021 as National Public Safety Dispatchers Week in Lake County, and encourages all citizens to join in recognizing the commitment of public safety dispatchers in our communities to preserve the safety of all of us. Passed and adopted this 13th day of April 2021.
Thank you very much. Sheriff Martin?
Yes, thank you. I thank the board for taking this time to recognize what is truly one of the most under-recognized and one of the most important jobs of the Sheriff's Office. The men and women that work in our dispatch center, they work the same long hours. They miss the same holidays. They miss the same family events as our patrol deputies do, as our correctional staff do. And without them, we certainly couldn't provide the service that we do. We often don't see or hear what they do, but our public safety dispatchers are consistently interacting with civilians that are in crisis, and all the way down to civilians that are just wanting basic information that may seem very mundane or unimportant to anyone else, but it might be one of the most important things that happens in that person's life. They work during times of calm, during times of disaster, and those calm times sometimes turn to disaster or turn chaotic in a split second. They relay important information. Sometimes you even get it quicker than Facebook. We hope that happens, but there's never going to be a replacement for that live body behind the phone, making judgment calls, relaying information, having that human interaction, human touch with people that might often be at the lowest point in their life. Not everything's bad at the dispatch center. They also get to participate and be an integral component in life-saving events. It was mentioned in the proclamation during the fires and the evacuations. They provide the coordination for the deputies on the street. They provide coordination with other agencies that respond. And like I say, this is quite likely one of the most under-recognized but most important jobs that we have at the Sheriff's Office. And I want to express my gratitude to the people that work there. I have the dispatch manager on call. He might not be happy with me calling him out, but if he has some words, I'd be happy to hear from him as well.
Okay, and I believe that he is in the panelists and should be able to unmute if he does have words. There we go.
There you go. Thank you, Board, for the proclamation. All the dispatchers in here greatly appreciate it. They are all busy right now. The two that are on duty handling calls right now. They weren't able to watch the presentation, but I will grab the video and share it with them later. We do have some very dedicated individuals that work in this division of the sheriff's office that, that we couldn't do our jobs in law enforcement without them. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any comments from board members on this item? No. I will make a quick statement that I know that I've learned from my years of experience both at the city of Clear Lake and here, just how important a dispatcher is. Most people don't call 911 with calm emotions. There's a lot of emotions already on the phone from what they receive, and they have to deal with those emotions right away. And that can be very difficult, especially during time of crisis. And also difficult when that time of crisis is with our law enforcement as well. They are the voice in our officers' ears. They are providing the details and descriptions of what they've heard and what they've found out through the contacts that they've made with the public. Their job is absolutely crucial to the safety of our officers and to the success of our officers as well. And so I appreciate the role that they play in our law enforcement team, and glad to have this week to celebrate their role that they have. And I see Supervisor Pyska unmuted. Go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to echo that statement as well, Supervisor Spatier. And additionally, I've had conversations with friends that are rural dispatchers, and it's a whole nother thing living in an area where you have to figure out where somebody is when there aren't named roads, there aren't a lot of permanent monuments. So it's, and maybe Sheriff Martin can speak to this, but it's a whole, there's an added layer of difficulty when you're trying to talk someone through a situation and figure out where they're located when they may have no idea where they are. So I also want to express my gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else before we open it up for the public? So let's go ahead and open up for the public. Any comments on this proclamation? Again, click the button at the bottom of your screen that says raise hand, or if you called via phone, dial *9. And then also looking in our chamber to see if anybody has a comment on this. And seeing none, we'll go ahead and bring this back to the board. Sheriff Martin, thank you for bringing this to our agenda today. And thank you to all our dispatchers working today.